Welcome back to Autism Live. Skype is not my friend today. I'm just going to say it is not. So we have joining us right now on the phone, Anita Lesko, and if Skype starts to work, we'll have a picture of her as well. But Anita is a friend of the show, an amazing woman. And Anita, I don't want to tell your story. I would rather you tell your story. But Anita is the author of this amazing book, Temple Grandin, The Stories I Tell My Friends. What a great read. It's one of the reasons why we chose this as our book of the year to be given to adults. And it's featured on our Toy and Gift Guide 2018. I can't think of a better gift if you don't know what to get someone that's in your life that is on the spectrum or cares about somebody on the spectrum, and you want to get them a great book or a great gift. This is an amazing book to give. So Anita's here with us. Anita, maybe you want to take just a second to tell folks a little bit about you, because your story is amazing. I think next Temple should write a book about you.
That sounds like fun.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, she can share our stories that we have when we have breakfast together. You know, when we go to speak at different things together, we always have breakfast together and dinner together and share some pretty wild stories.
I bet. So for people who don't know you, Anita, we kind of think of you as the real life good doctor, but not doctor. You're a nurse, I can't even say the word, anesthetist. Am I saying? Took me 7 tries. But how long have you been working in OR surgeries?
Over 30 years now.
Amazing.
Full time.
Amazing, full time. And we're showing a picture of you right now in your lovely cowboy hat. And you are someone very respected in your field, working in this field for 30 years. At what point did you get a diagnosis for yourself, Anita?
Well, I never even, I'm at the age, I just turned 59 a couple months ago.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you. And so I'm at that age group where back, at that time when I was in elementary school and high school, autism and Asperger's, all that really wasn't the vogue back then.
Yeah.
So I was just like, the weird kid that nobody kind of knew what to do with or anything. And my mom and I didn't know any better. As we later found out, after I found out that I'm on the spectrum, we realized she was too. So that kind of made it that she never thought I was really different because she was different. So we were like 2 peas in a pod, so to speak.
I love it.
But I recognized that I was different from other people from the time I was like a little tiny kid. And I had a lot of struggles because of that, but that just made me work harder and always keep my eye on whatever my goal was to accomplish it. And then one night at work, back in 2011, one of my coworkers' sons had gotten diagnosed with Asperger's, and I didn't know what Asperger's was, and she was crying and she was all upset, and I'm like, well, what is Asperger's? So she had some information in her hand, some papers, and she says, here, read about it. And so I started looking at it, and the top paper was a list. It was like a little quiz that said, if you have 10 out of these 12 symptoms, you have Asperger's. So I started reading them. Well, I realized, wait a minute now, I got 12 out of 12. And suddenly I realized, oh my gosh, this is what I have. This is why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
So that night I went and I got like literally every book off of the bookshelf in the bookstore about Asperger's, went home, read them all. By the morning, I knew without a doubt, I had picked the one in particular, Dr. Tony Atwood's book called The Complete Guide to Asperger's Syndrome. And it was kind of like as if Tony knew me his whole life, or my whole life. And so then 3 weeks later, I went and I got a formal diagnosis at the neuropsychologist, the same one my coworker had taken her son. I went through all that testing, like 3 days of all the different tests. But by that point, I already knew that I have Asperger's and I'm on the spectrum. And it answered so many questions of my whole entire life. But I thought it was grand that I finally knew why I am the way I am. it opened so many doors. But the biggest thing was I wanted to start helping other people on the spectrum. So that's what I've been doing back
That
since
is what you've been doing.
2011.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job of that. This is just one of, how many books do you have out now, Anita?
Well, I have a fourth one coming out this coming April, something very different than my other books.
Well, let's talk about what the 4 books are, because we chose Temple Grandin, the stories I tell my friends, as one of our award winners. But I got to be honest, it was a tough call between that and your one, but I can't, forgive me, say exactly what the title of it is, about healthcare. What is the...
Right, the Complete Guide to Autism and Healthcare.
Which is an amazing book as well. And so tell us what the other one is and then what the new one is.
Well, the other book about the healthcare is because I recognized long ago that people on the autism spectrum, and that's all I hear over and over everywhere I go, people on the spectrum, they dread going to the doctors, any kind of medical thing, because people in the medical profession don't understand autistic people and have all kind of preconceived ideas about it. People just don't want to go. They don't feel respected. They don't feel like the healthcare providers have any idea about what autism is and how it affects you, emotionally, physically, and all these things. So I realized, I said, well, let's see. I've been living with autism my whole life, and I'm 30 years as a healthcare provider, medical professional. Why don't I put it all together and make a book? It's directed towards healthcare providers, but also for parents to read it and then take it to their healthcare providers for their, kind of a little suggested reading, so that the provider better understands their child and can give better healthcare. Because if you don't even understand somebody or anything about what it is they have, how can you really provide the best care?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So that's what the purpose of that book is, and my publisher, Future Horizons, and myself, and it's been getting into as required reading for like fourth-year medical students in medical schools across the country, and so we're just keep on going and get into nursing schools, everything. Everybody who provides healthcare for those on the spectrum.
What an amazing influence. You're changing the way medical professionals will treat individuals on the spectrum. You've got to be proud of that, Anita. That's amazing. And now what's the new book that's coming out in April?
Okay, it has a working title because Future Horizons hasn't officially determined that this is the title, but at the moment, the title is called Visualizing Your Future, Rewiring Your Brain for Success. Some months ago, I started thinking to myself, how exactly really did I get to where I'm at? And I realized something that I've utilized my whole entire life was visualizing. Now, as we all know, Temple Grandin talks about it in the movie. We see it in all her books about, that she thinks in pictures. Well, I think in pictures the same way, and I know quite a number of other people on the spectrum do the same. But my whole life, I used that. Of course, I didn't know I'm on the spectrum until 2011, but I'm talking back since the time I'm a little kid. I started realizing that I would visualize. I had to actually visualize things to learn things because I learned different than other people. I would have to visualize something over and over and over in my mind. And I'm talking about, let's say, I wanted to learn to ride horses. Well, my body was so uncoordinated, it didn't want to participate in any of that. I didn't even know what my arms and legs are doing, let alone I could hardly walk without tripping, falling down, or walk into a wall, let alone I want to ride a horse. Okay, so if I found that if I would think about like movements and different things over and over for like sometimes weeks, depending on the complexity of the activity that I wanted to do, would determine how long I had to do the visualizing. But so I would do this over and over and literally take it apart in my mind, each little piece of the movement, and analyze and think about my body, seeing myself doing it, feel myself doing it, and creating like a movie in my mind, actually, of what it was I wanted to do. And it was like, then I kind of like, I I felt like I rewired my brain to be able to perform the activity. I eventually went on to be able to ride horses in jumping competition over 6-foot high fences.
Wow.
And I'm a kid that couldn't even catch a ball in physical ed in school, that I'd fall on my face and everything. But I wanted to do the horse thing so bad that I visualized that over and over. And there's so much research about, well, visualization and neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to literally be rewired. Like 100 years ago, they thought that's not possible. They thought what you're born with, that's what you have.
Yeah.
But all this research in the past, like 30 years, 20 years, and in the recent even 10 years, and right now it's a really hot topic, this whole neuroplasticity thing, of how you can rewire your brain if you want to. Okay, so I talk about in this book, I use this visualization and rewiring my brain for every single thing I did, from learning how to ride horses, for my job, going through my master's degree program and learning how to become a nurse anesthetist, things on my actual job, everything that I've done. And so I put this all together, and I put down in there also my 10 steps of how I share with other people how to do the visualization process, because I realized not everybody is a visual thinker.
Yeah.
So I accommodate for that, and then I break it down into little bitty steps that pretty much anybody will be able to follow it and change their brain. And I've incorporated a lot of research about it, proven facts. You talk also about like elite Olympic athletes use the visualization, like Lindsey Vonn. She's one of the top Olympic skiers in the whole world, and she uses that extensively, as do most all the other Olympic athletes in all the different sports, not just for skiing, but everything, where they simulate being on their skis, simulate going down a hill 80 miles an hour in their brain over and over and over till their brain thinks they've actually done it. And so that's what this book is about. I kind of feel like I'm a true pioneer with this, and I think that it's, to me, I see it as the wave of the future.
I agree.
For those on the autism spectrum.
Well, Anita, I think, first of all, congratulations to you, because you have an amazing life that you've worked really hard for, and you have been so instrumental in helping so many people in the autism community. And this book sounds fascinating. I want to read it when you come out with it in April. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We've actually gone over, because I'm always so fascinated by what you have to say, Anita. But I want to remind people that this book, Temple Grandin, The Stories I Tell My Friends, great gift book this holiday season. It's featured in our 2018 Autism Live toy and gift guide. If you go to our website, click on the toy guide, and then you can see all the things that we're recommending this holiday season. When you get to this book, one of the things that we added this year, because you guys said that you liked our guide last year, but you wanted it to be interactive, you wanted to be able to purchase right from the site instead of going and hunting it. So we have a button right there that will take you directly to a place that you can purchase the book. The book is available on Amazon and through Future Horizons. Anita, I understand that you have a brand new website too.
Yeah, it's AnitaLesko.com.
Okay. And we want to encourage people to go there and check out AnitaLesko.com. Anita is just an inspiration to all of us. And I got to say that this book, it's just amazing, because what happens is not only do you get to hear stories that you never knew about Temple Grandin, but you're hearing it all from Anita's point of view of her interviewing Temple. So it really is like you get to pull up a chair at those breakfasts that she's talking about and get to be there when Temple and Anita are talking to each other. It's just super luscious. So I highly recommend it. Anita, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. It's always fun. I love it.
And let's talk soon.
Please. Thank you.
All right, take care. I'm going to say to all of you who are watching, make sure that you watch us tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We will be on the red carpet for the Ed Asner Family Center Gala. That's happening at 5:30. We'll be live for the whole red carpet. I believe it's an hour and a half. Who knows who we're going to run into? Wanda Sykes, maybe Peter Frampton, definitely Ed Asner, and a whole cavalcade of other stars who will come out to celebrate Ed on this wonderful, wonderful event. But until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now, and happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you beforehand. Bye-bye.